by...
There was no audio for the beginning of that, and I don't know why, because I definitely turned the mic on. I apologise. Can you please do all of that in the exact same way that you did it?
Hello and welcome to Admit One, your Mookley
Oakley dokley.
Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Nitley Thompson, and this week I am joined by one Kristian Lasham. Hello. I'm also joined by the one who usually uses the one per show, Charlie Cooper.
That's a better nickname.
That is very... Do I usually use it? I swear I've only used it like twice.
Yeah, but per show.
Oh, yeah.
There was a disaster happening.
What a... No,
I shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have shaken my head. Catastrophe has
Brian
happened.
Blessed, Star Wars 1 impression.
Yes. Oh, is that Brian Blessed?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Boss
The
now,
Gungan, yeah.
That guy.
That makes a lot of
It
sense
does,
now
yeah.
that you've said it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never knew that.
Not far off Donald Duck either.
Okay.
It's going to be a good one today.
It is,
guys.
yeah.
This is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet. Eventually, maybe I'll run out of breath.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbithole_media_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way into helping us bring you the shows that you love.
Yeah.
Today, it's a biggin.
Yeah.
It is a biggin. Within the movie world, we are here to talk about Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man does whatever. We don't do the accent.
Oh, yeah, we do not do the accent.
So I should just go, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Does whatever a spider can.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yes, a much beloved movie. Definitely the most loved in this trilogy. Probably the most loved Spider-Man movie. Probably, and one of the most loved superhero movies of all time. And I'm here to tell you today that that is a nonsense concept.
I agree.
Definitely no accents. Exactly.
No.
I'll do my middle class.
Okay.
I haven't had a drama in life.
I wondered
accent.
where you were going for then.
I just meant my accent.
No, that's fine. I just wondered if you were going to go somewhere else.
My-
Equally offensive, just in a different culture or something, but that's fine.
My accent will get stronger tomorrow because I'm going to football, and it just seems to happen when I'm at a football match.
You-
Oh,
it's
it's
'cause
because
you'll
you
drink.
speak fluent twat.
Yes.
Yes. You can. I will ruin this. So I'm going to go with my general thoughts
I
first.
was going to say, Jack will ruin this. I will help.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is a film combined of excellence and utter trash.
Yes.
I would say I'll put it, before we go into spoilers and plot, I will put it into slightly more specific terms. Everything to do with Spider-Man is excellent. And Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus is excellent. Mm-hmm. Everything to do with Peter Parker and anything else is dog shit.
Which unfortunately is the most of this film.
Yeah, and you know, I was trying to figure out when I watched it yesterday. I was like, what is it? I knew the bits I didn't like, but I couldn't really articulate it. That's exactly what I needed. What I needed put into words for me.
Every scene with Spider-Man in it is top notch.
Yes.
And some of the best stuff we've had in superhero movies at all. Mm-hmm. And particular Spider-Man, like the action stuff and his like back and forth with criminals and villains, and there's a couple of Peter Parker scenes, but they're more Spider-Man scenes, like that's spoilers. But there's a couple of Peter Parker scenes, but leaning more towards it's Spider-Man. He's just not wearing the suit. Mm-hmm. But all of the Peter Parker stuff and all like him with MJ, and I have some comments about MJ in this movie in particular. All of the like the other side, like not Spider-Man and Doc Ock, but Peter Parker and Otto Octavius, like stuff that was so boring, which is insane considering it's the same two people. And you're like, how has this happened?
Yeah.
Harry Osborn is a 4-year-old
Yeah.
who dropped his toy in a puddle. I realise I'm demeaning the loss of a parent quite drastically there, but even so, and just anyway, general thoughts. Charlie,
I liked it. Bit old, innit?
it is. I do think there is a drastic step up in
Yes. Yeah.
CGI.
The CGI bit that really got me. Spoilers. I'll say it later. But yeah, the CGI, some of the CGI stuff, it's like
Some of it is very dodgy, but
some
some
of
of
it
it
is.
is done.
It's the age, though.
yes,
Yeah, of course.
exactly,
Yeah, of course.
exactly. It's the
It's-
same reason when you watch, say, for example, I don't know, Phantom Menace, and you're like, oh, I remember this looking
That's a
better.
different problem.
It's a different problem. I mean, like you know what I mean with the special
Yeah, I know where
effects
you're
wise.
going,
It's
yeah.
purely talking about that. But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And like this had a style that looked better, even though it didn't look real per se. There's the CGI where you would just go CGI.
Yeah.
This is clearly CGI. It looked better. Like there are close-up scenes of him where he's swinging that you're just like, I can clearly tell this isn't real, but it looks good. There is a style to it that looks good. But other than that, yeah, it's just age. There's not a way. There's no point criticizing the CGI of this movie because it was very good
Yeah.
at the time. The
Absolutely.
CGI elements of The Matrix look a bit shit
Yeah.
now.
yes, yeah,
Obviously, I realise a lot of The Matrix was practical, so it still looks very good. But yeah, a lot of the CGI elements, you go, ooh, especially Reloaded.
yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, you're right.
Spoilers, I suppose. Oh, Kristian, general thought. I do apologise. I'm so used to only doing one person. Woof. And I'm very, very sorry.
Okay.
Normally you wouldn't be here.
I'll let you off. I pretty much echo entirely what you've both had to say. I thought I remembered this film better than what I did as well. As I was watching it, I was like, I don't remember this at all. But yeah, I mean, I said to you the other night, I think everything that is Peter Parker, or no, actually, everything that's not Doc Ock or Spider-Man related is just not good. It's dull, it's badly paced, it's badly written, it's badly acted, it's badly filmed, it's badly directed.
That's what's baffling to me. Sorry, just to interject. All the Spider-Man and Doc Ock stuff is shot really well as well. And then the Peter Parker stuff is just like Sam Raimi set up a tripod and then went for lunch.
Exactly, and it
Yeah, it's like it was
seems to
directed
me
by a different person.
because there's some bits, and there's actually some bits I really want to comment on production-wise. But there's some bits where it seems like the impression I get is that with Doc Ock and that character, Sam Raimi had a connection to that character, is the impression I get. Because it feels like he put time and effort into working with that character and presenting that character. And every time he had to just do like drama and normal TV, like normal film stuff, he just didn't know what to do, is almost what it feels like. He had no creativity when it came to filming a conversation. He did have creativity when it came to filming a Doc Ock monologue, self-monologue, to make that creative and interesting. But if there's a conversation, he just doesn't seem to know how to do anything interesting with it. And it was strange. It was very, it was then really like juxtaposed with the rest of the film. But I was mostly bored watching this film. I remember when we finished it, Camilla went, Camilla said, it is a good film. I was like, it's fucking not. I was like, there's some good bits.
Yeah.
And Hannah, I think, has hit the nail on the head. I think the big redeeming quality is just Alfred Molina.
It is absolutely.
Alfred
Like,
Molina
he's the
is
best.
really
He's the
good.
best part of this movie, no
Oh, big
doubt, and
time.
he's still one of the best comic book villains we've had.
Agreed.
Absolutely. But I do think it's not just Alfred. Like Tobey Maguire is good when he's Spider-Man. That's
Yes.
the really odd thing.
But he does
Sammy said that earlier on, though.
Yeah,
about
he's a
Man
good
saying,
Spider-Man, but
yeah,
not a good Peter
drawn
Parker.
on my
Yeah.
wall. You say that, but he doesn't. Tobey Maguire, for the most part, doesn't do much as Spider-Man.
But it's his line delivery and
it's the
stuff.
line delivery
is a lot better.
especially in this, because I didn't think he was good as Spider-Man in the first
No, they
one.
clearly hadn't found that. And
Yeah. And obviously, by this point,
I think
he's
that was
more,
meant to be character-wise.
the
He's more
character's more
cocky,
confident,
yeah.
absolutely. So no, I agree with that. But a lot of the stuff that made Spider-Man good in this isn't really Tobey Maguire. It's
No, it's a
CG
computer,
stunt
yes.
coordinating and stuff like that. So, yeah. Oh, that reminds me. That's my impression of him on the
That's
train.
not the funniest face, though.
No,
It's the-
he's brought some incredible faces. But I watched.
We'll get there.
I watched this with Grace, my sister-in-law, and we were just like the faces. We were just wow.
The running at onto the top of the building was, I've needed this shit for 3 days.
yes,
And
a particularly pooey one.
It's no. This is more of it has congealed into a solid, like 3 stone mass, and it needs to come out of me. That was that face. That was a hemorrhoid poo. That was.
And 11 minutes 19, hemorrhoid poo.
But I suppose it's time for our attempt this week at running down the plot.
Oh,
That's
God.
going to be a challenge.
Is it me again?
We'll help each other out as we go. We open with a billboard.
I was going to say, I do not remember how it opens. For the love
It
of
opens
fuck.
with a really,
We
really long
open
recap
with
thing.
43 minutes of opening credits that didn't need to be there. I
I
admit,
hated that.
if you only watched the first one in the cinema and the second one in the cinema, the recap might have been nice, but considering I watched it a week ago, it can fuck off.
Yeah.
I also feel
Fair
like
enough.
there's not much to you need really need recapping.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the main plot points of the first one you need to know are prominent enough that you wouldn't forget them.
Man got bit more. Well,
Yeah,
man
man gets-
pretending to be child got bit by spider. Oh, this brings me on to a. He's no older than my son. What, 50? Like, there's just this 40-year-old man. I think he was like 29 at this point, to be fair. But there's like, it looks older than that, lying on the ground pretending to be a child. Like,
That's
the
the thing,
sort
he's
of
still meant
stubble
to-
that never goes away.
Isn't he still meant to be like 18 or something?
He's
at
like
this point?
19,
Right.
I think, in this movie.
Hannah says he became Spider-Man, dead uncle, shouty boss, petulant friend. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
much.
and Halloween costumes.
That's still the plot of this one.
Yeah. It is, actually.
Also, I know this is really inappropriate, but I feel like if I don't acknowledge it, I'm doing everyone a disservice. Sammy has written a message that says, I like the titles. I read, I like the titties. So,
Well, that's great, Sammy, but I don't see what that's got to do with Spider-Man.
But we open after the 9 days of credits with a billboard of Mary Jane's face.
I remember, yes.
And some terrible speech about something or other. And then, I can't remember.
No, I don't remember the beginning of this film at all.
He comes home for his birthday party.
Isn't that later?
I don't think it's that much later.
Oh, it goes straight into the pizza thing.
Oh, it does,
goes
the pizza,
straight
you're
into
right,
the
yes, yes, it does.
him breaking in. He's got to deliver pizza.
And then that guy
yes.
bollocks him. You're wasting so much
Shouty
time.
boss.
And spends about 10 minutes shouting at him for being late when he's got a guy. Let him fucking go deliver the pizzas. You're not helping. You're making it so much worse.
If I was Peter Parker in this scenario, I don't know why he even attempted that weird scooter thing that goes 4 miles an hour. Just initiate swinging
I
from
know,
the get-go.
Yeah.
Or at least you're fast running on the building rooftops, at least. You know?
But
Although-
then we wouldn't get... He stole that guy's pizza. But he does the thing. He ruins a slice completely. Like, I think it would have been better at this point to just explain why there was a missing... Well, not explain how, but explain that there was a missing
I was
one.
hungry.
No, other than giving one that's clearly covered in web. Just being like, it will dissolve in an
Reason
hour.
why people should have figured out it was Spider-Man number 7046.
Someone's watched the episode.
Yeah, when he's he gets knocked off the motor. Well, it's not a motorbike, whatever that fucking thing is, and backflips over and lands on his feet, and the kids are like, "How did you do that? You idiots! You fucking idiot children! I can tell you exactly why you did that, and you should know as well at this point."
I like that scene. Just love the eat your green
It is
vegetables.
nice. It's a nice.
Although
little...
I am now thinking Peter Parker is directly responsible for the inevitable death of these children when they try and do backflips over moving
Because they've
moving
eaten a tin of Green Giant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had some broccoli and now they're leaping into traffic.
To be fair, I feel like doing that when I've had broccoli as well, but
I feel like doing that because I'm awake. But
it's going to be a particularly dark one this evening, guys. Strap in.
But yes, and then the pizza thing swinging through, stole that guy's pizza. Guy steals a slice without undoing the cables.
Also,
I think very easy. Cardboard's very bendy.
That did make me laugh that he stole that guy's pizzas a bit. Like, another one, like, okay, so you don't think that pizza delivery man was Spider-Man, do you?
And when he drops those pizzas off, that person has ordered a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
Well, she's working in an office, so I assume there's some form of work shindig occurring.
And I mean, I've had work buy pizzas for us before. We've ended up with like 2.
Depends how many
you were
people
in a
work
shop, that's
there.
like an office bar.
And one of them was a vegan pizza, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, so one and a...
And
You've ended up with one and then a pizza tray
Yeah.
of cardboard.
Yeah.
Like the cardboard that frozen pizzas come on.
Yes.
She's
problem
Zoe
is,
Deschanel's big
like,
sister.
We're a team of 20 people, and then you get a pizza for 19 people, and the vegan pizza, which is the same size, for the one vegan.
This usually works. That's
particularly
usually how it
hungry.
works. But also, this woman, I wouldn't even have... I don't care if there's a guarantee time. Like, if it's 2 minutes over, I do not have the gall to just go, I'm not paying for these. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Give the man
give
a
a guy a
break.
break, yeah.
It's 2 minutes. He's just appeared in the cupboard. Like, he's clearly had a day. Like, he didn't... Like,
He's
reason
clearly
number
fucking
2
Spider-Man.
million, yeah. Reason number 14,007. He's emerged from the cupboard. And he's not some form of mystical... Never mind. He's just emerged from the cupboard and then not the lift. We're on floor 90 by the looks of that building. How have you just come from there? There's only a very small window. Something maybe only Spider-Man can get through. But anyway, gets fired because he was 2 minutes late for delivering pizza. Has the whole dramatic sticker rip-off. Like, oof, you bad man. And then he goes somewhere. Oh, this is when he goes
to the
home for
party,
the for the surprise, but the most depressing surprise. There's 3
Yeah,
people.
the
in
3
this room.
people that you know.
One of them is your
have
aunt.
ruined
Also, how old was your mum? If that is her sister,
No, Ben's the dad's brother. But even still.
oh whatever.
It may,
But
the
he was
logic
also
applies.
he was also on the older side.
Yeah.
I mean, we have already established that Peter Parker's 58. So
Oh, that's true. That's true. It would be weird. Like now you hit like as the Spider-Man looked younger, you got to make the aunts look younger as well. Because if you had like Tobey Maguire and is it Marissa Tomei who's the
Marissa Tomei,
latest?
yeah.
Who's the latest Aunt May? Like they are the same age.
Yeah,
So
Marissa Tomei looks younger.
Yeah.
yeah, well, especially than Tobey Maguire now. But that's because he is like 40 something. But anyway, moving on. The most depressing thing ever. Harry won't leave it alone that he takes pictures of Spider-Man. It's like, move on, mate. He takes pictures of Spider-Man. Good. And then it was just like, if you knew who he was, would he tell me? No. Obviously not.
I mean, the thing is, this particular thing was, even if he wasn't Spider-Man, no, because that would make me an accessory to murder. I absolutely would not tell you this.
Well, yes, there is that as well. I still think he should have gone for the tell him immediately.
Yeah.
Should have gone for the tell him you are Spider-Man immediately, because then he probably would have dropped all assumptions that you murdered him.
Yeah.
Even though it was a bold assumption anyway, as we said last week.
But he's
Yeah.
had longer to stew on
He's
it
had
now.
longer to stew on it. And now, because he hasn't told him for 2 years, he's revealing that when he does find out, he's discovered that, oh, Peter is particularly shady. Maybe he did.
Yep.
You never know. You never know. But anyway, moving on. Birthday, Harry's a dick. La-di-da. MJ falls asleep, sees a note that... Not MJ falls asleep. MJ leaves.
Yeah, he's
Aunt
very
May
quickly
falls
in that party.
MJ, Aunt May.
Who are they?
Oh, and a lot of those out.
Aunt May falls asleep on the table, as you do. Peter sees the you're being kicked out your house letter.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And then she gives him money.
Wakes them up. Did everybody enjoy their time? No, Harry was being a dick.
And this was the worst party ever. You failed.
It's very mean.
Yeah.
It was very mean.
It
She
is.
tried.
Not very hard.
gives him a 20. It's like, don't you dare leave this behind. And starts to cry over $20, as you do. But anyway.
I'd cry if I
About
gave
11
away
quid.
£20, to be fair.
That's true. That's fair.
I'd be very sad.
That's very fair. That's fair enough. He goes to take the bins out after already being told to go home several times. And MJ's just sat in the garden of her dad's old house.
Who she hates.
Yeah, very odd. Why didn't you just go home?
Yeah, I couldn't work out why she was there, because she had been at Peter's aunt's, and then clearly, well, obviously, I guess I'll visit my mum and dad whilst I'm here, but then went and sat in the garden. It's very odd, isn't it?
It was very odd. Like, how long has she been there?
Yeah.
Was she just waiting for this?
So I've seen out of you. She's just waiting for him to come out. Like, stalking him.
Sorry, I was distracted by comments. Where did he keep his Parker clothes when delivering the pizza? Usually in the backpack that's webbed to the side of the wall. That's usually what he does. But they never show that.
As we know from the game, they're scattered all over the city.
Yeah, exactly. Never with clothes in, but with weird, odd tidbits that only have, like a backpack with one thing in it.
Yeah, and it's like a badge. You didn't need that backpack.
Put it in your pocket.
Spider suit doesn't have pockets. Come on.
Yeah, but Parker's clothes does. Parker's clothes weren't in the bag.
That's a good point.
It's just the badge. Hannah says, why does Peter live in a shithole in Manhattan for probably a fortune instead of paying that money towards Aunt May's mortgage, as she clearly lives close enough that he could have stayed there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he changed in the cupboard. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it's implied he somehow had a puffer jacket underneath that skin-tight suit that nobody noticed. Maybe it's so tight that it compressed like a big old jacket down to like skin level, and that's why he loses his powers, because it's cutting off all of anything.
Perhaps, yeah.
Like he's not losing his powers; he's losing oxygen to the brain. So his body's conserving energy by not producing weird fluids and just like being like, go to brain, blood to brain, blood to brain. Dead. But that seems unlikely. It seems more like a continuity issue. There are many continuity errors in this
Yes.
movie, mainly revolving around clothing and his costume. But we'll get to those.
Yes, Anna, that's true.
It's not like you should have had a baseball cap on.
The Netflix series You. I said it was like something out of You because she was just in a garden stalking him.
I thought Hannah meant it's not like you. Basically,
I thought she was referring to you as an individual.
Basically, I thought you had done something wrong again. Is
Yes.
what I.
Yeah, and I was for a little. I've got to say, for the first second, I was like, I have never worn a baseball cap.
Delicious nectar. Anyway, I'll get to it.
Thank you.
Yep, sat in the garden to have a very badly acted, badly written conversation with weird behaviour. The hand on the face thing, it's not allowed. From...
Sorry, I don't know why I did.
That's not allowed. But just very, very bad things, and then it ends. I can't remember what happens there.
Yeah,
It's
they
next
just
day.
have an
Why
awful-
can't
She
I
goes-
remember
she tries
this?
to go
We
to-
remembered the first one so
He
well.
tries to go to the play.
Actually, no, we missed a lot out.
The reason is because it's not good. Like at
Yeah.
this point, we're like a good like chunk into the runtime.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
nothing's happened
No.
of like any It's all dull, slow
I
conversation
swear
pieces.
the next thing is he tries to go to the play, or does he go to the
No, that's much later.
showcase?
Oh, he says-
meet Octavius first before going.
That's
to the
first,
play.
yeah. He says he's going to go to the play tomorrow night.
Fuck it, let's just jump to the Octavia stuff. So he
Yeah,
goes.
it's a good bit.
He goes and then yes, Harry says they'll introduce each other because earlier in the film he was late for college. We missed that, and he's saying he's writing a paper on Otto Octavius. Then he goes home to the surprise party, and it's just like, we're doing a thing on Otto Octavius. Chances of that fucking happening, but silence your devices.
Right, ciao.
I realise I never do. I need to look at that phone later.
Oh yes, you do.
Sorry, it's magical, and I kind of.
I'll put it away.
No,
just to show you what he's like. Yeah, it does that. There we go.
I'm just fascinated by this phone. And then he goes to Otto Octavius and just meets him. This is before the demonstration. He has not been invited to the demonstration at this point.
So I already feel at this point this film gets better because Alfred Molina. It seems like there was actual dialogue written for Alfred Molina.
I agree.
And it just like, although not much happens here, just the whole performance change, it just feels more interesting. Even it's still not as good as later. It just feels more interesting. It flows better. The conversations flow better. The point when they're sat around the dining table talking about the different ideas and whatnot, it just feels like it's a better movie, better performed, better written. Like everything about it feels better than we've had in the first
I will
15
say,
minutes.
feeding a woman poetry to make her fall in love with you, terrible advice. Terrible. Don't do that. Just don't do that.
Feeding her food is normally what tends to be the better option.
In particular, usually cheese.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I'll let you make your own jokes on that one, but
But if you feed a woman but before the chocolate, crack out a toasted baguette with some baked camembert. You're in.
You've got... I'm on board.
Yeah, exactly. See, I've swayed your sexuality
So what are you
already
doing
by
later,
the
Jack?
mere mention of baked camembert. I didn't even... Blech. How dare you blech baked camembert.
That might have been my tasteless joke, to be fair. Let's give her a chance to explain herself.
That's true. That was a particularly tasteless joke.
I know.
Ironically, the joke was you not making a joke and saying we can make a joke. So if anyone's to blame, it's whoever made the joke.
It's Caden.
Okay.
That's true. That's true. Hannah says there's also a totally wasted use of Kurt Connors. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. He is in the next one, and also he was going to beat the lizard eventually.
Wait, the fourth one they never made or something. Right.
Fourth one they never made was also meant to be. We'll get to it.
So yeah, we get here obviously the introduction to
Otto Octavius
and what he's doing and what he's going to work out, and already Peter's like, how have you worked it out? Have you made that happen? He's like, don't.
And then they talk about sciencey thing,
Like,
and then his highly intelligent thing was an exponential growth of energy output. It's like,
yes.
I could have told you that trying to create the sun would create a large growth in energy output because the sun is fucking powerful. I don't need a degree to tell you that if you created the sun, you would have energy. And it was meant to make him like, oh, he's so smart because he said exponential.
Yeah.
like they.
It's more of a fire is hot rather than the water is wet in this scenario.
Oh, Rich has
Ooh,
been.
now you're talking, Rich.
Rich has engorged me.
Ooh.
But anyway, sciencey nonsense aside, is talking about how he's trying to create the sun essentially for worldwide energy, and it's like, don't worry, I'm not going to destroy the city. You can sleep soundly tonight.
If you knew nothing about Octavius' character, so you've never read a comic or you've never watched the cartoons, just that bit alone, but you go, oh, this is gonna go tits up, and this is not going to end.
It
well.
doesn't go.
He
He's in it. It's like Crime Watch.
It doesn't go as badly as it could have.
No, that's true.
I don't know why the sun is just considered to be a large magnet.
I thought it was its gravitational
Yeah,
pull.
it has its own gravitational
Yeah, but it's only
pull.
pulling metal things.
No, it doesn't. It pulls
does.
No,
MJ towards it, and people start getting pulled towards it.
Yeah, but she's only getting pulled towards it when
she's
she's
got
got the chain wrapped around her foot.
Oh, okay.
Because
Right,
when the
right.
chain comes off, she immediately goes flying back into Spider-Man. It's metal.
It does seem to be
Only,
a magnet.
and cars are moving. This is at the end,
Yes.
but cars are moving, but the people aren't. So
Okay, I got you.
it's metal, and the glass only comes flying because it's pulled the metal out, the metal frames out.
There would have been one person with
It's
like a metal
magnetic, but why is the sun magnetic? That's
not the
I
person
don't
to ask
understand
that.
that, but again, I'm no science man, so that could be an actual thing. Have you just Googled is the sun magnetic?
Yes. Not getting much of an answer. Mainly because it's just taking me to Wikipedia, which is very long-winded. I'll try again.
But yes.
Yeah.
So he invites him to the thingy. The actual presentation tomorrow.
Yes, the sun has a magnetic field that varies across its surface.
Oh. Fair enough.
It's a magnetic star. These magnetic fields emerge through the sun's visible surface. They form sunspots and other active regions and create complex dynamic plasma structures in the sun's upper atmosphere.
Fair enough. Well, no, the science of the mini-sun doesn't make any sense because it would also be fucking hot
Fucking
and
warm.
everyone in that room would be dead
Yeah,
I mean, he does
immediately.
take a shirt off.
Yeah, but everyone else is still wearing a coat.
Everything about that doesn't make sense, though. They're
Well,
just
the-
like in this rotten old building with no form of safety precautions whatsoever.
He's got some goggles on, no one else does.
Yeah, and like he's like, oh yeah, we have to use these special armors I've made so I can go near it. But he's only standing like a foot away.
Yes.
Cooked. You'd be cooked.
Hannah says, how were the sentient
Yeah,
tentacles
I
not the
said
Nobel
that.
Prize-winning tech?
Oh,
And
I said
do
that, I
agree.
called it a day there.
However, if you could submit man-made octopus or
The sun.
I've created the sun, I think you would win more for the sun.
Yeah,
That's
I-
kind of a slam dunk.
Yep.
But man-made,
Yeah.
I am an octopus now, is kind of less of a... I realise I'm demeaning it a little bit, but I'm an octopus
You're
now.
not
Could
far
probably
off.
be outshined by like a toaster that knows when you wake up. Which exists.
Fair enough, yeah.
But the sun didn't work.
Well, they didn't
Okay,
know
They didn't
that,
know that at the
though.
time.
This is
He
an
had his
experiment.
options. Maybe.
And
he-
it
it's-
did work. He did make a sun. He just couldn't control it.
Maybe there is an alternative version where it doesn't work and everything's okay, and he just ends and goes, "Oh, well, at least I got these arms. Anyone want to invest in these instead?"
Although he
Maybe
never
that's
he never actually wants to go for the Nobel Prize. It's Harry that's going Nobel Prize. Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing he ever says to Otto. So no wonder Otto's just like he's a weird chap,
Yep.
very odd chap. It's like the only thing me saying to you ever being platinum trophy. That'd be very odd.
I mean, many of our conversations about video games are.
But I do say other things.
You do.
But all Harry says is Nobel Prize, Otto, Nobel Prize. It's like, shut the fuck up, you curly haired twit. Why do you have curly hair all of a sudden? Cut it back down. You look like a twat.
It was really weird me seeing James Franco in these, because to me, he's just Seth Rogen's stoner, mate. That's and then seeing him in this, it's just like, oh yeah, you did other stuff.
Hannah does make a great point that I never even thought of. Appendages that can be plugged into your brain would revolutionise the world for disabled people.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
That's pretty much what they're doing in the game, isn't it?
That's what they're
Really?
trying to do.
Yeah.
The game is they're trying to
Trying
work out.
Prosthetics.
In
like-
the game.
Yeah, in the
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
PS4.
game, Spider-Man PS4. That's
Oh,
what
sorry.
yeah.
I thought you meant something in real life called the game.
Oh, no. Sorry, I wasn't particularly clear.
Now I lost the
Yes.
game.
And
Ah.
James Franco isn't friends with Seth Rogen anymore. No.
Oh, really? That's sad.
It's largely because James Franco is a bit of a problem.
Yes.
I see.
He is very
I
problematic.
don't actually know any of what happened, so.
The usual...
I mean, Hannah's said it there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
So, either way, problematic person. Moving on.
Yes.
What was I going to say about this? I was going to say something.
So-
The other problem with the arms, though, is that you can make the argument that they also didn't work overly well.
Well, it's because the chip got
Well, it's
blown up
'cause
by the
chip
sun.
Got blown up by the sun, but I feel like that chip can maybe get. There's nothing really protecting that chip.
It should
Yeah.
be
That
internal.
That chip needs to be.
Yes.
Internal.
Yeah.
Those arms are indestructible. Why couldn't you just got a bit of the metal
It should
you
also
made the rest
be
of it with and just go
of a
over it?
stronger material than a £2 LED light
Yes.
that you
Yes.
that you
Yes.
can buy to put on your Christmas tree.
I'd love a scene of you just nipping down Halfords to get another one of them. And just like,
So let me get my neural inhibitor chip. What do you mean out of stock? But yes, there's a flawed design because if you were to fall over, for example, and suddenly you're being controlled by an octopus.
Or just have a particularly itchy neck and catch the wrong bit. You know, when you like catch a mole when you're scratching and it bleeds perpetually. Same thing. You scratch and break your inhibitor chip, and the next thing you know, you're taking over Manhattan.
I mean, it does sound better than just going, oh, this actually just hurts now.
Yeah.
If suddenly you're just like, I'm going to be okay with robbing a bank and very much then just murdering OAPs. Very quick escalation.
Oh
man.
yeah, he does escalate very quickly. But his wife dies in front of him. His whole life
Yeah.
falls apart. All goes to shit. I can understand. They just fuck it.
And
Yep.
because to symbolise his huge personality change, he starts wearing a hat as well.
Well, you know what they say about people that wear hats, Charlie.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
It's because neither does he. He doesn't know what people say about wearing people who wear hats
I'll probably wear
either.
a hat tomorrow. And I'll find out what people say. They'll go, look at that twat. Oh, that's what they say.
Take that hat off, you absolutely fool! But anyway, moving on. It's the next day, and he's doing things. I can't remember what he does up until the point where he's getting ready for the play. I can't remember anything in between that because it's...
He goes to college.
Long story short, he starts
No, he doesn't.
realizing as he's doing stuff that he's not always.
Does he lose his powers at this point?
He starts losing powers around about now. I'm sure.
Is that not on the way home from the play because he's all sad? Because it usually triggers when he's all sad.
I don't know, but we get near that point.
But either way, there's a lot of guff, and then this is the he's on the way to the play. He has random photos of MJ in his mirror, which, considering they're not together, is strange.
It's a bit creepy, yeah.
Takes that he's on the way. He's suited and booted, and in the non-blue and red tie. There is a scene where it looked as if like he was. It was trying to imply that he was trying to decide what to wear between a normal suit and the Spider-Man one. The normal one, you fool. This isn't a decision. But in the end, he's obviously wearing both anyway.
Yeah.
So, I have other things to say about the suit later. But then, somehow he didn't hear the sirens and the gunshots and everything coming up behind him. He needed to rely on Spidey sense to do the backflip and have his bike run over. And then how did you do that? Like eat green vegetables and all that nonsense. Then he chases down these people. I will admit, there is a cool shot here with the car at the angle with the light where you can't see the web, and then it turns into you can angle it.
All of the action sequence stuff is really well done.
No, it is.
Really
and
good.
I feel this would have been a really cool. Shot would have been the highest of the highs if this was a Marvel movie, not necessarily MCU, but like let's just say MCU, where you didn't know Spider-Man was here. Like the first time they had introduced Spider-Man and it hadn't been revealed in the trailers like they did in Civil War. Because we'll get to that. Like they hadn't shown anything and then just angled it and it was webs stopping the thing. And you're like, the fuck?
Yeah.
That's exactly how I would have lost my mind if we went into Civil War without knowing Spider-Man was here, and then just seeing that big text box that said Queens. I would have been like...
I mean, that would have been cool in itself, but it would have been even better if we didn't even get that prelude, and the first time we saw him was simply Underoos, and then he swings in. Like, that's an even better reveal.
But that exact scene was in the trailer, so it was very upsetting.
Yes.
Can I backtrack quick just to talk about a very quick...
Going back on track. How dare you?
Yeah.
We don't do back on track on this show.
Backtrack. Not back on track.
I see. This is acceptable.
So, a very quick J.K. Simmons bit that I very much enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're trying to think of a name for the new supervillain. And it's
Doctor
Strange. That's good, but it's taken. And just at that point, I wouldn't have.
It's all come full circle because he's directing Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. I thought it was really, really cool. A really cool little nugget of info with that. And at that time, when I first watched that film, I wouldn't have known who Doctor Strange was. Not properly. I would have watched the cartoon, but I wouldn't have taken much the Spider-Man cartoons that he was in. But I wouldn't have been paying that much attention to it. And yeah, I just quite like that bit. You're right there.
I'm tangled. And by that, I did mean I'm Rapunzel.
Yes, I was going to say. Something's tickling my feet.
Sorry.
Sorry, mate.
This is a dead rat that I've planted under the table.
Not another one.
No, that was a mouse.
Oh, yeah.
And was very much alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The 40 Towers edition of...
Indeed. So obviously he's doing his people saving business and then is late for the play. As the words he puts it, there's a particularly obnoxious usher.
Yeah, that guy, I wasn't a fan of him.
No, he needed a
I think I would have uppercut him.
Yeah.
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 Like,
Yeah.
A, shoes, tie. What if this was intentional? This is the style. You don't know it with your tash and your bow tie. But yeah, just...
Yeah, I think I did think to myself that in that situation, if I was Peter, as I left, I would have turned around and gone, I hope you step on Lego, you absolute one per show.
He's saving it for a better opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one of you might use it on me later.
If I had I would be a terrible, terrible superhero. Because if I
No
had
doubt.
the
You
ability...
don't have any powers, for one.
Well, yes, right now. If I had Spider-Man's powers...
It's just a situation. Jack turns up a little bit late going, there's been a situation.
I have a car and an iPhone. What can I help with?
I can run over the villains.
And then call them an ambulance.
Yes. But don't rush. Get here without the Ninors, yes? But if I had Spider-Man's powers and the ability to, let's just say, punch someone through a building, it would happen a lot.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Is a problem. So this guy would have gone. I would have definitely interrupted the play, unless there was a bit where there was meant to be a flying usher landing on the stage with bricks and debris following suit, because he would have been
That's a play that
would
goes
have been
wrong.
punched. But yeah, so I'd be terrible. I'd be like, reason number 4,000,007 why we know you are Superman or whatever, because you just lamped this person to the moon and then took off to the skies. That's how we know. Like,
You're like the
don't know what you're
Incredibles,
talking about, mate.
but you're just getting relocated by the FBI every 4 weeks.
Yeah, it would be a problem. But I wouldn't care, because I could. Anyone who secretly found out, I could lamp them to the moon. It'd just be me left on Earth. I have no one to save. It's me versus a lion. There we go.
I'd pay to watch that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can do it as a Rabbit Hole show.
What, me fighting a lion?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Like, you'd probably get the views up.
Yeah, absolutely it would.
Man dies. That's all you need to call it. You don't need to say man is fighting a
can
lion.
really-
Just man dies, because we know the outcome. If me, nothing but juice. It's just... I'm absolutely a supervillain, but not intentionally. I'd be the one who's trying to be nice, but someone said something to me too early. Too early in the day.
Right, you
but
had your
Hancock.
chance.
Just someone at 8 a.m. Help! I've solved your problem. You are a corpse.
Oh, dear Lord.
There will be no superheroing before 1 p.m. I'll have you
Can
know.
you please move your mugging to 9 a.m., preferably outside Starbucks, and I'll be leaving at that point.
Yes, exactly. I'll be the unintentional supervillain. It'll be great.
We'll write it one day.
Yeah, absolutely. But where have we got to? Oh, the usher. Yes, he leaves, and then I think this is where he loses his powers and lands on a pipe. And if he doesn't have powers at this
Yes.
point, he is dead.
Yes.
Lands on that pipe, probably destroyed somebody's air conditioning. I don't know what that pipe's for. It seems
was
like
some sort of
ventilation
hot air,
or some
like,
point.
yeah.
So the temperature is now not ideal. Whatever the scenario, whether it's too hot or too cold, is now not ideal. And then he takes the lift and has a bit of an overshare.
I like this. Yeah,
It's good.
It's good. I like that scene.
It's good. I made
Very
it.
good scene.
I made it. Gets a bit itchy. Rides up in the crotch a bit too. Bit of an overshare, and that guy's just push the button. Let me out. Please let me out. And I will say this is where the statement "generic white guy" comes in most handily, because he looks exactly like J. Jonah Jameson's son, even though it is a totally different person. But they are the same person, which is also the same person that plays the guy in You, if you want to bring it back. They're just this. It's not literally the same person, but they look all the same. And I think that's why he gets away with murdering everyone, because he wears a baseball cap, because he looks like everyone.
It's like the fucking arrow to the knee guy in Skyrim.
Exactly.
Turns up everywhere. Oh,
Literally a
again.
clone. I think cloning exists.
It does, to a
does.
degree.
Oh, okay, cloning humans, you fucking pedantic ass wipe.
Hello. That's what they call me.
But anyway, loses his powers for all of 10 minutes. Then is the next scene them at the bank? No, the next scene will be like the monologue or something. No!
the
I think we've missed all the Doc Ock stuff. The hospital scene. One of the best scenes in the
Oh,
movie.
yeah, it's the best one. That's probably my favourite scene, actually.
This is the most Sam Raimi scene
Yes,
in all
very-
of
this
the
is
movie.
insane. It's, when we're doing Doc Ock now, you can see Sam Raimi shining through. All of this is really good. Like, that whole hospital scene is filmed brilliantly. Like, the elements of you kind of like seeing either just the Claw's perspective or seeing things, you're hearing things happen off camera and just seeing the reactions or seeing the aftermath and stuff. It's really clever, really good stuff.
This is why I want somebody to actually try and make a comic book based, like, from somebody like either Batman or the Hulk or Doc Ock and Spider-Man, like a full on horror movie. Because you could do it really well. The nature of these characters is all fucking horrible. I think it's a bone saw, actually. But then again, that's what the chainsaw was invented for.
Yep.
Bones. So, not the chainsaw you're thinking of.
No.
That's what the chainsaw has become. But the saw with a chain on it.
I mean, in quite a lot of films, they still use it on bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brightburn, I suppose. But that's essentially Superman. Yeah, okay, Brightburn. Brightburn wasn't as bad as it could have been. It wasn't great. Which doesn't help with my example. They should really make the genre of movie that will be mediocre. Is what I was basically. Fuck.
But yes,
think about Brightburn. But yeah, this scene's amazing. This scene's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. And then starsetup.com, because you say with end do eventually lead to then the monologue of him in that kind of old, abandoned, collapsing, sinking building. Which again, it's a fantastic sequence. Him kind of talking to himself, working out what's going on, working out what he can do, working out what's happened. It's shot so well. There's one particular shot I remember where he's kind of has that moment of realization that the inhibitor chip's broken, where kind of like he's sort of thinking about, but how is it? And he sort of turns his head round to look, and the camera does this full like 360 spin round to look at the back of his neck as his head turns, and then goes back again, look at the front as he turns around to look at the front. It's a really cool, inventive, creative shot to demonstrate what's going on and to progress the plot of that sequence, that particular scene. It's really good. It's good filmmaking. It's proof that Sam Raimi can do stuff in an interesting way. And I think that's why it becomes then so glaring when the rest of the film doesn't do it. Because it's like night and day.
Absolutely. Which is kind of why I'm really excited for Doctor Strange.
Indeed.
Not kind of. Largely, entirely.
Yeah. I can't wait for that.
Because Sam Raimi is a really good filmmaker. I assume he was just slapped down with loads of limitations.
He was limitations, and I think just a case of, I think there was so many sequences in this film which don't lend themselves to him and his filmmaking style that I think it generally just didn't know what to do with them. I think all these just basic plain dialogue sequences, I don't know what to do with these, so we'll just do standard over-the-shoulder tripod shots. Mm-hmm. There you go. Because that seems to be all he does.
That's pretty much all it was for the conversational stuff. Absolutely. This is where he decides he wants to he's going to steal some money, which there's probably some guff in the middle, but that leads to the bank. And they're talking about the bank, trying to get a loan for Aunt May. Doesn't go very well, as you would expect. And they're probably just politely saying, you will be long dead by the time you've paid off this loan, thus we don't really want to do it. Tries to get a free toaster, but didn't deposit 300 or more, so doesn't get a free toaster. And then Octopus Boy comes along and...
Reason 1,200,501.
How do you play that off? I'm sorry, your elderly aunt is in mortal danger and you were fucked off to Kingdom Come.
He literally just gets up and walks away.
Jogs away.
Yeah.
See you later, bitch. Just...
Why not use that as an opportunity to get her to safety? There you go. I'm going to go check everything's okay.
Because she needs to be kidnapped.
Yeah. For plot progression.
Yeah, exactly.
Wankers.
Yep.
Sorry. That was not helpful at all.
But he just rips the vault off of the wall. Peter absconds from the environment. Mm-hmm. I'm terribly sorry. I told you off for not silencing your devices earlier in the episode, and my watch just binged. Then he re-emerges as Spider-Man, and everyone in the bank went, "Oh, it's him." They have a fight with money.
Yep. Literally, just
also pirate treasure by the seams of things.
Of gold coins. It was so what?
The safe door comes off and
Nathan Drake shows up to claim the lost treasure of El Dorado.
That happens in No Way Home.
Yeah,
And
the CGI of that safe door coming off as well.
Use is
Fucking
that
hell.
to anyone?
Yeah.
Where can you just go? I would like to pay in gold coins.
Where did he spend it? Where did he go and actually spend that
Also,
money?
I feel like he didn't get away with much. Like, how much is
He
this
threw it
gold
all
coin?
at Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, threw it all at Spider-Man. Spider-Man threw a bag of money at him, seemingly obnoxiously hard.
Why is the vault on the customer floor just there as well?
Well, that's also true, as opposed to hidden the fuck away in some
In a basement.
like in a basement or several hallways away. But there is that too. I had this Lego set, by the way. The bank.
That's cool.
It was cool.
One of the coolest places I have ever been in. It's it was the vault of an old palace that was converted into a hotel, and they converted the vault the safe and everything into a basement jazz club.
Right.
And it was
pretty cool.
fucking cool. It's in the middle of Prague, but just under the city. It's so yeah. Sorry, total sidetrack, but it just reminded me of that. And
Very odd tip for those. Bars in cities are significantly better when they're underground.
Yeah,
Doesn't
they
make
are.
any sense.
But they are.
My favourite bar of all time was underground. But there we go. That doesn't matter. Irrelevant. In London, called Adventure Bar. Was great.
Oh, I've been to Adventure Bar. Yes,
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, Soho.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jack
Throws
and
a bag
Charlie's
of money
tour.
at this man so hard that he breaks the wall, and does it again later with a table. Throws. That shot actually bothered me. He did this with the tables, and they moved at different times. Bothered me. Anyway, he runs out of power again, and then gets smacked in the face with pirate treasure and falls to his broken ribs. Gets back up, has his head cool shot with the him all tied up like this and his headshot on the thing. Suddenly, powers are back.
Convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. Webs the two tables. They move in like one was further right nonsense, but they also started moving afterwards. They do the shot of it started moving, and it started moving afterwards. But he blocks one table, then gets hit by another flimsy table so hard that he goes flying out of a window and knocks over a taxi, as opposed to just this flimsy table breaking. But that happens. Then he just grabs Aunt May. Doc Ock grabs Aunt May and absconds up the side of a building with seemingly very little money from all of this.
Yeah, but he has got an elderly woman, so, you know.
Yes, sell her on the black market for change. I don't like.
Pirate treasure.
But to be fair, yes, this is all
sensible.
gold coins. That might be $8 billion that he's got in that bag. We don't know because it's a non-existent currency, as Hannah says. May as well just be called swag.
Those bags were all open as well, like open at the top, so you could see the coins. I don't.
It's very odd. The whole thing is particularly odd. What? If a bank has just put deposited gold coins on my behalf and I went to check it out and they just handed me a gold coin, I'm like, what the fuck am I meant to do with that?
Going to Nando's with that. Just
That is true. Doc Ock did marry Aunt May in the books to inherit an island.
excuse
I can't
me?
remember why Aunt May had an island.
What the fuck is there some bad acid going round? What happened? That's insane. Okay.
Yeah, Aunt May had an island. It's all very odd. The comics are very odd. They also find a way to transfer Doc Ock's consciousness into Peter Parker's body, but here we go.
Okay.
It's called the Superior Spider-Man. It's actually very good.
Okay. No, that sounds interesting.
But anyway. Bank fight. Aunt May kidnapped, absconded up the side of a building. A weird shot where it's climbing up the building, and then you just see his tentacles like spike through the building. You're like, oh, that's cool. Until you get to the next shot, realize that's not how he's climbing up the building. So we just got to this woman staring out the window and thought, I'll scare her, give her a bit of a fright. As like an octopus man climbing up the side of the building isn't enough. And then she does this weird thing where she runs at the camera and just stops and screams.
Yep.
The fuck was that? Anyway, he carries on. They're having a bit of a fight. Aunt May is holding on to her umbrella for dear life, of all Mary Poppins and shit. He's all like, hold on. I will admit, before watching this movie, I was convinced he said Aunt May. Hold on, Aunt May.
Yeah.
Is what I
Mandela
remember.
effect kind of thing. Yeah.
You have an update.
I know.
Is what I remember. It doesn't happen because I was going to be like, reason 10 million and 12 as to why everyone knows he's Spider-Man, because he's just gone, not even just May. He said, Aunt May. That narrows it down.
I do like that in the MCU now, people are finding out just in the general sensible ways people would just find out, walking in on him when he hasn't got his mask on and things like that. I am pleased that that's happening.
There is a scene later on that I think heavily implies she knows. But,
Yeah, I think she knows.
because you'd have to be a fucking idiot not to,
Yeah.
considering 900 people just know who he is. He says Aunt May when he's in the window. Yeah, I just remember him shouting it, as in to her. But it didn't happen. He just says, hold on. And he's fighting her. She's slipping off the umbrella and there's a ledge there anyway. She's all like, thank God, this is over. And then gets immediately taken. Spider-Man is in a window. He's been like, I'm going to slingshot this. Doc Ock does the whole knife behind the back business. Aunt May's like, shame on you. He starts launching across again, cool shot.
Yeah,
he's about to go, then Aunt May twats him on the side of the head with an umbrella.
Quite possibly the best part of thing that happens in that
Yeah,
film.
smashes his sunglasses. The ridiculous sunglasses. They are gone. They are no more. Probably until the next scene where he's bought more.
He's going into a Ray-Ban shop with a gold coin.
I would have one pair of sunglasses, please. He then misses. He does the grabby thing, does that, leaps off the building, catches Aunt May, swings away. Again, the people he knows, he doesn't just put on the ground. He absconds. I love the word abscond.
You've
if
been
you haven't
saying
noticed.
that's it's the new egregious.
Yeah, I say abscond all the time.
I'd argue the amount of times he's saying abscond is egregious.
Wow.
And I'd argue you're a no. We'll save it.
Do I only get to now use the remaining 3 letters? Because you used the first one.
No, that would cause problems because we've used the letter C in several times within this conversation.
Just in the introduction with my name.
I just said conversation.
Oh.
Puts her down and then some seemingly like Russian people show up and be like, "Oh, Spider-Man!" That's not even slightly Russian, but
A lot of girls that are swooning over him in this scene.
Yes, but none of them
Swooning
seem
or
to be
swooning?
American. Which it just seems very odd.
It is New York. It's a very multicultural city.
That's very true. But anyway, again, he fucks off. I don't remember.
No, don't know. I've gotten confused. I've
yeah,
lost
then-
track
What does
entirely.
happen after this?
He goes at some. I don't know what happens in between, but then at some point he goes and threatens Harry for the fucking little bit of whatever that thing is. It's only £25 on the
Trillium.
Trillium. Yeah. Hangs him over the building. Give me the trillium, you little bitch.
Yeah, is he?
I don't think so, but I don't remember what happens next. So unless anyone else has got a more.
I haven't got a fucking Scooby.
No.
No, I don't know. I know there's a lot of MJ being MJ at some point. There's a lot of guff with the high society thing where
Oh yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson and that, and Harry's slapping Peter at that point again, lamped to the moon.
Yeah.
Then we'll just assume what you said is next. We may have missed a lot, but I can't remember.
And we've been going over an hour now, so
Oh Lord, we haven't even got to the good bits. Okay, right. Stuff happened. There's speed run. Dangles blackmails Harry for the tritium. Then
the titium.
oh, for fuck's sake!
Sally's a fan of those.
And then they do a thing. MJ goes very questionable with her actions and does the upside. There's the upside down kiss scene again with
Oh yeah.
Minnie Jameson.
He's like, yeah, she's like,
We
Get your
can't
head back.
invite Harry. We can't invite Peter because he's a jerk. Let me go to this cafe and meet him and cheat on my fiance. Like, demand that he kisses me. We've missed the entire section where he loses his powers and Spider-Man quits. That's what we've done.
And at the end of
Yes.
at the end of raindrops just keep falling on my head. I do love the freeze frame when he's another great Maguire face.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
because he loses all his powers almost completely.
He has a chat with
Yeah.
Uncle Ben.
His eyesight goes. He has some weird chat with Uncle Ben, and he goes to a doctor.
Oh yes, this doctor knows he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You don't throw in the actually it's my friend's dream. No, you're the one with genital herpes. My friend has genital herpes. What should they do? It's like you should apply.
You can tell by the way the doctor behaves as well that he's worked out that Spider-Man, but he's being cool about it,
Yes.
which is fine. I don't have a problem with that scene, to be fair.
No, neither do I. It's just but then again, it's just weird that the doctor then came down to weird philosophical advice as opposed to any form of medical advice.
What I
Surely
thought was
someone got on a
weird.
blood test as
Sorry,
He
if
was wearing-
I had supernatural powers that disappeared, I wouldn't go. My GP. I'll see my GP. That wouldn't be where I'd go. I'd be going to the fucking spider scientists, if anywhere.
Yeah. Connors.
I just don't understand the logic behind. I'll go to the GP. How do you explain that? So what brings you here today? What problems seem to happen? Well, basically, I used to be able to shoot webs from my wrists, and I had my eyesight better. Hang on, hold up a little bit. You could shoot what from your where now?
That's what the herpes guy was in here about.
I think what's happened, Peter, is you were unwell and now you're okay.
So yeah, all that happens. He throws the suit in the bin.
Why would you do that as well?
Yeah,
you
that's-
just threw the suit in a bag and that would what?
Also, without the gloves and boots.
Just
Where does he keep those? Why did he keep the gloves and boots? Because he has them again later.
it's just such a strange decision. Why would you?
It's because the shot was straight out of the comics. The shot of it hanging over the bin was straight out of the comics. But it had the glove!
Shit.
Anyway,
I always thought it was like a onesie sort of thing. Anyway,
it's always been the gloves and boots come off because otherwise his
Right.
hands would always be Spider-Man
sure.
when he's in normal clothes.
Well, in this version of it, they are. Sorry, I think I misunderstood what you're saying. When you said his hands were in
Because if it was a
Spider-Man.
onesie, because he
Yeah,
wears
he-
it under
he
it.
would
Yeah,
always
of
have.
course.
It would always
So-
be like he's
sorry.
wearing Spider-Man gloves.
I thought you
which
meant you
might
didn't take
give
his
it
web
away.
shooters off. I'm like, well, he doesn't have web shooters in this version.
Oh, no,
I
no.
misunderstood. It's not.
No, yeah, that's because
Fuck's sake, Charlie.
I don't normally do that.
yeah. Sammy said as well, just so it mirrors the famous comic cover. But then Jameson takes it and realizes that he's having a moment because MJ's been kidnapped, which is his future-to-be daughter-in-law.
That other dude, by the way, that works for Jameson works out who Spider-Man is, I think.
What? Bloody
There's
Robbie.
There's a guy who's
Robbie,
always
yeah.
just like, he's not a menace.
Yeah, Robbie. Yeah.
He works it out. I'm pretty sure.
What
Yeah.
makes you think that?
I can't remember exactly. There's a bit where he's like holding the mask and he's like, Peter's in the room and he's asking him
Peter
about...
wasn't there.
No, what was it? I can't remember. There is a bit that happens. There's a scene that implies it just focuses on him, which just implied to me a case of he knows who it is, but I don't know.
There is a weird look. I remember noticing he gives a look, but it's not particularly special that he knows because all of New York knows,
Yes.
and there's MJ's been kidnapped and he's like, oh, he was a hero, and then takes the suit with just a note. He's like, it's a menace. Oh, I've got you, Spider-Man. And then this is the meeting on the clock tower after MJ has been kidnapped. And then they start to fight again, and this is the train. We get the fight in the building, and then this is the train. This is the best bit of the movie.
Yep.
This is
Train scene's
easily
cool.
the best bit of the movie because it's the whole fight. The fight's really cool. The choreography is really cool. He does that weird. He's being thrown. Then oh shit!
Yep.
That would be me. Just splat. Just
Reason 412 why Jack wouldn't be a good superhero.
I wouldn't fit in the gap.
See, now I'm picturing Jack as a superhero in this situation where he turns up again a little bit late, looks at what's going on and pauses and goes, no.
This is Future Jack's problem. I'm off for a cigarette.
I should abscond now.
I will be the absconding man. That is my
The absconder.
The absconder. I literally just get to a situation, announce that it's a problematic situation, and then leave having done nothing about it.
In South Park,
You are in
there's
danger.
in South Park there's a superhero called Captain Hindsight.
Yeah.
And he's so good. He turns on a burning building and tells them why they should have put the fire escapes and just fucks off and everyone leaves. Five Grade's like, cool, just leave everyone in there burning.
Thanks, Captain Hindsight.
That would pretty much be me, yes.
So again, get us to 15 subscribers, and that's the next thing that we'll write is the absconder.
But yes,
What would your outfit look like?
Well, it's a secret. There'll be a reveal.
we'll get there. It'll be not flattering. It'll probably just be pajamas because I want to go back to bed.
With the hot holes in them and like...
With Apple Tango and Monster strapped to your utility belt.
And
Just
then
gets a vape out, like.
and then just fags in the top pocket just
White chocolate Twix somewhere as well.
at all times. My weapon of choice is a Toblerone. Anyone who actually requests my help gets Toblerone.
Launches triangles at people.
Like delicious shurikens.
Oh god, I really want to see this.
Get out! Be gone! I'm here to inform, not to help.
Oh
anyway.
god, just turns up in his Focus ST. Right. He's fucking pajamas.
We've made Charlie make sounds like a low battery fire alarm now.
Fucking hell, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm finding this as funny as I am, but he's great. Okay, I'm good. Do continue.
Train fight. Great fight. Goes through the train, they're on the train. There's one guy that goes, "What the hell?" I feel like there'll be more people saying that.
Yes.
If you are on a moving train and something lands on the roof, you go, "This is an issue."
There you go again, there he
That's
is.
the absconder's catchphrase.
Yes. This is an issue. Then you get some very tensed spider cheeks pressed against the window.
Yeah.
Very clenched.
Squeaky bum time.
Exactly. And then Doc Ock realizes, I'm not winning this fight, so just yanks all of the everything out of the train after speeding it up. And so, oh no, the brakes are gone. Has a spider sense of what's in front of him by like 5 miles.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that.
It's very odd. And then his immediate thought is, I will stop this with my leg. It's like, you're strong, but...
I do love that. Got any more bright ideas? He just like,
Also,
you.
if someone was trying to save your life, how about don't be a cunt?
And there it is. Because that is a scenario where if I was Spider-Man in that scenario,
That is when you become the absconder.
Right, I've done my best. I'm off.
I would have
Over the
absconded
Twix
that
and
man
fucked
from the train, personally. I would have gone, I know, I have got another bright idea. I'm going to use you as a rudimentary brake and put you under this wheel. That's what I would have fucking done.
Yeah, absolutely. But then he goes for the... all the webbing.
Wipeout. What? It sounded like the intro to that song.
Beg your pardon?
Wipeout. You know that song, Wipeout?
No, you're insane.
No, it starts with a guitar riff that sounds like what you just did with your lips.
No guitar riffs sound like that.
That one did.
Fuck yourself.
Does the train, he's squeezing the train, all the webs are breaking, he looks like he's pooed himself at least twice. He does the bicep rip, but then it's between shots, it's there and not there. That's one of my continuity things. He's not wearing his mask at this point. He gets electricity
There's
in
the
the
other
face.
thing. Because he gets literally in the face and then just takes the mask off. Mm-hmm. And then he's just like, I'll just keep it. It's fine.
It's because he seemingly drops it somehow inside the train.
Yeah.
Unless these children were on
why-
the outside
why
of the
did he
train.
take
Or they
off.
just carry a spare.
Because he puts it back on again.
Well, but
I think it got
in the
pulled
moment,
off.
it
I
was
guess it's sparkling.
it's sparking.
understand.
I imagine that's
Alarming.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
and difficult to see through.
Yes, this is fair.
So I understand why he took it off. I don't understand why he fucking threw it to the wind, especially considering it's fine when he gets it back later. But
Charred, isn't it? That's all.
a little bit until the next scene.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it's fine. Like as you know, materials heal over time.
Yeah. I mean, spider suits do. Let's not be outrageous here.
But the iron
It's like, you know when you pop a button off of a shirt, you know it'll grow back, right? Yeah. But anyway, stops this train just about, then there's a whole pass out, then people get very handsy in this. Like, they don't just stop him. Someone squeezes.
Yep. I don't understand why they crowd surf him to the back of the carriage as well. Was there
Just put him down.
Yeah, put him down on the first bit of floor you see.
Because they needed the Jesus moment.
They did need the Jesus moment.
They needed the Jesus moment, the hands out. I was like, I'm not sure if Jesus had webs.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing I don't think the Bible...
Not even the life of Brian did that.
exactly.
And then we obviously get the sequence where like he realizes he's got the mask on, and they're all like, "Oh, it's just a kid," and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, we won't tell anyone."
You don't know anything!
You don't know who he is.
I saw that he looks like a teenager with brown hair. Brilliant.
Great.
You see that film Seabiscuit? He looked just like the bloke out of that. It was weird.
Did you see this movie, Spider-Man 1? He looks just like that guy.
Apparently, the kids have a costume they just bought and they gave him the mask, but that'd be child-sized.
Anyway, if you were standing on a train that was about to crash, would you be standing at the front? No. You would stand in the middle, surely.
That'd be my best.
I wouldn't stand anywhere.
Well, you would sit.
Yes, I would
or
find
lay
something
down.
to, yes, like crawl beneath.
Yeah. Although I don't think that would help you if it did go off the edge.
true,
In this
yeah.
particular,
You're
normal train.
dead regardless.
Yeah.
I'd take my chances with the window.
But
Yeah,
surely you'd
I
want to
probably
be
would,
like...
to be fair.
Would you like to be... It was a joke, Joe.
Okay.
Because obviously the front is being crumpled to all shit.
Yes.
Anyone standing in the front is jam.
Yeah.
The back would kind of like lift, surely, like
Yeah.
crumple it. The middle should in theory be reasonably okay. Unless obviously it's getting mega compressed. But it seems unlikely. The middle, so you would want to go for the middle carriage.
Agreed.
Or if you're going from London Bridge to East Grinstead, you want to be in the 8th one. Because that's the one that stops in front of the door.
If I'm ever on that train for whatever reason, I'll remember that.
Yes, I hope to never be on that train again. But the more you know.
Ball ache of a journey, it stops seemingly.
9 million times!
You have to change at Narnia.
Yes, it's the only train journey I can think of where it's about the same amount of time to drive.
Or walk.
Obviously not. To London in general, yes, but to London Bridge, no. Because it takes you a fucking day to get 3 feet in London in a car. But anyway, back to the thingy. Do the fighty fight. He doesn't have the mask. But we won't tell anyone the things we don't know. I was like, oh, we know who Spider-Man is. Who? No idea.
Some dude.
Brilliant. Then Doc Ock comes back. This is like the proper, like exactly what I mean when I say I will lamp someone. Just straight in the head, they're down. Nothing. Takes him to Harry.
I like the
Seemingly
sequence-
wrapped in
Sorry,
barbed wire.
I like the sequence where they're all like, you're going to have to...
Oh yeah, if you want to get him, you're going to have to go through me, and everyone's all right. And he's like, okay. I will Moses you.
Yep.
Pass you
And
like the Red
Spider-Man's
Sea.
just like, it's okay, guys, it's fine. Don't worry.
Fine. I'll fuck him up. Lamped. Then gets taken to Harry. Harry's like seemingly using a letter opener.
Yes.
I'm going to kill this man with a letter opener.
It'll take a while.
Letter openers are essentially mini swords.
Yes.
So it's like doing battle with post. I've stolen that joke from somewhere. I can't remember who.
I think Michael McIntyre.
Possibly. Possibly. This is seeming like a very Michael McIntyre thing to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, mini sword goes over. I want to look into your eyes as I watch you die. All right. Calm down, Harry. You realise this is also murder. Rips off the mask. Shocked somehow. Shocked. He stops listening. You killed my dad.
We get Spider-Man just doing the super tear the barbed wire apart.
Oh yeah, that was a particularly like awakening scene. Yeah, does all the barbed wire. Is like, where is she? I would do the Batman thing, but I'm feeling a bit gravelly today. So actually, that's where is she? Thank you. That would be the perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Again, the absconder interviewing, interrogating a suspect. I would shout aggressively, but I'm feeling a little bit gravelly today. So.
I don't need to be in an
And
interrogation.
the occasional scoff as well when they're not answering. Where is she? I'm not telling you where she is. Oh.
See, you're implying that I've gotten myself into an interrogation and not absconded. I am the absconder. I don't get this far. I've left. If it's not immediately apparent, it's not worth my time. Does this? You killed my dad? No, I didn't. Whatever. Although I will grant this was the worst answer you could have possibly given in this time. Peter, you killed my father. This is bigger than you and me. You've just admitted to a murder that you didn't do.
He kind of is responsible because he did the jumpy jump. So the bladey
He
blades
got out
did
of
the
the way
stabby.
of his dad trying to kill him.
Yeah,
He's not responsible. He just dodged.
Ah, good point. Fair point. Fair point. Well made. I appreciate you didn't abscond from that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Peter absconded from getting stabbed by the glider.
Killed himself. They even mention it in the third one. But we'll get to that next week. But, yep, does the whole thing, finds out where he is. I don't know if he ever told it. He says he took the tritium, figures out he's doing all the thingy again. I don't know, maybe follow all the magnetic things that are happening and go to what looks like a very blown up Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I thought that straight away, yeah.
La-di-da, MJ is here, all tied up. Waffle, waffle, waffle. Things are happening. Things start going wrong. Cars in the streets are just being summoned to the sun. Things are all falling over. La-di-da, Spider-Man sneaks in, all like, tries to do the unpluggy thing. It doesn't go very well. Mini fight. MJ tries to do the Aunt May trick and clearly doesn't pull it off as well because she gets again
Twatted.
lamped by one of the tentacles. Seemingly down for the count for a moment, which is fair because an average person being absolutely decimated by one of these, you'd probably need a minute.
Yep.
La-di-da, fight. Pulls the plug, still working. Now what? La-di-da-di-da. We need to put it in the... He pulls his mask off to reveal it's him, although how he doesn't already know. I don't never know. It's Peter, brilliant but lazy. This is an inconsistency because I'm pretty sure he says intelligence isn't a privilege. It's a gift to be used for all mankind. And when he says, you once told me intelligence was a gift, and he goes, a privilege. Like, motherfucker, that is the opposite of what you said at the beginning of this movie. Can we get things straight, please?
Yep.
But anyway, I need to put it in the ocean. Oh, he lifts up the cable. That's why he's down for the minute. He lifts up the cable and he gets very electrocuted. And all that. Falls down into the ocean, can't lift the tentacle for a minute until he needs to strangle Peter, and then it's working fine for plot convenience, of course.
Much like Peter's powers throughout the film.
Yes, exactly. Again, I apologise. I had a go at you for a beep earlier, and
I'll turn it back on.
I still haven't silenced my watch.
There we go.
I've done it now. Yes, I need to put it in the water. They do that. And he's like, no, I'll do it. Clearly, this is Otto Octavius in control again now, not the tentacles. And he does the whole...
Well, he does a bit where he's like talking to tentacles.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
listen to me now.
But I quite like that the tentacles are all like just their own little individual, almost like pets.
Yeah.
And they're just like, wait, what? The whole conversation, they're looking back and forth like, what's going on?
I don't like this at all. I wish I could abscond. But no, does that. That's the bit. He does the whole pull under the water. MJ sees him from across the way, like with a look of realization. Like
again, I think she had already worked it out in the last film.
She had said that. Yeah. She thinks she always knew. Oh yeah, well, that's the thing we missed over. Aunt May is moving. They go over. Aunt May tells. Sorry, we're jumping back. Peter tells Aunt May how Uncle Ben died. She's a bit upset.
I'm sorry. That whole sequence annoyed me because he's just like, I need to tell you the truth. Tells a story which changes nothing about the events around where he died. Really. Because she gets really upset about it. It's like, what did you expect Peter to do in this situation?
Given that you don't think...
No, but she didn't know any of that happened.
She knew he had been killed by someone. Surely she must know he was killed in a car burglary. She must have known that.
Yeah, no, she would have known that, but she wouldn't have known that he was shot by someone that he let go.
Yes, but why would you expect Peter to have been able to stop him anyway?
Because he specifically says I could have stopped him.
Only because he's Spider-Man.
Well, yes, I know, but he said that. So therefore, you would assume he was in a position.
I wouldn't. If my scrawny nephew, I know he's not that scrawny at this point, but you know, like just average nephew was just like, I could have stopped him. I would have been like, could you fuck have stopped him? Like,
yeah, it was just an emotional moment. A lot of. That's why the next time she saw her, next time they saw each other, it was all pish posh.
Oh yeah, I get that.
And then that is the scene that I mentioned earlier that heavily implies
Yeah.
She knows it's him.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's all very convenient philosophical waffle about who Spider-Man is for no reason that implies very much to this personal to this situation. And also, I would also be pissed on the fact that he was sitting on it for 2 years.
I don't think I would.
And the fact that he was there, she didn't know he was there either. So you'd be a bit pissed.
I mean, but that's a weird. That was a weird thing. He must. She must have known he was there.
No, because he wouldn't have been there because he ran off. He wouldn't have been there when any of the things went down. He was there for a few seconds and then ran off to murder the guy. I know he didn't, but ran off to murder the guy. But anyway, let's get back to where we were. Mary Jane sees him without the mask from across the way. Then suddenly a wall.
Oh yeah.
Suddenly a wall is coming, and he's like, no! Does a leap, catches the wall. Hi, this is very heavy.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I like that as well. Very heavy to hold, but not too heavy to throw over the top of your head. And there's the hill, picks her up. There's a weird spinning thing. What is that meant to be? That cage thing that's rolling at him.
Oh, the cagey thing. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was meant to be, but it was rolling at him with pace. That is a get out the way moment, and he does. He leaps and swings on the clouds. This is a shot where I'm just like, this is one of the shots that this is what you're swinging from. Mm-hmm. He was swinging from the clouds. So I was reading the comments again. I do it all the time. I do apologise, everyone. Land on a very perfectly made web that feels like it would have taken time. And also, she's on the edge. The edge of the edgiest of the edges. Like, holding on to sitting on a single thread,
She's
holding
like,
on.
holding on and kind of...
Sit in the middle.
She's holding on to the edge, like almost essentially caressing his bodily fluids at this point. It was I was just thinking about it. I was like,
Ooh.
This is all a bit weird.
That's definitely a third date thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Build to this.
But yes, sit in the middle. At the very least, come on. He made this massive thing. It's like buying a really comfy sofa and sitting on the arm. What are you doing? You don't sit on the edge of a hammock. You sit on the hammock.
Maybe sit on the edge of the hammock. It does spin.
Yeah.
Yes. You die, which is what I presume is
You
about to
cocoon
happen.
and grow wings.
From this, and this is the scene that made me uncomfortable for the first time I ever watched it. Not the conversation. They have a conversation about why they can't be together and all this, that, and the other. It's the lowering her down slowly, and knowing that that's coming from a hole out of his wrist, and knowing the sort of sensation you get when you pull like a long booger out your nose, or like you pull something out of your ear or whatever. That weird tickle, horrible. You know that sensation when you pull spaghetti out of your throat? That, but in your wrist, like really slowly. And like even from a young age, I was like,
Like when people pull licorice laces back through their nose.
Yeah, look,
I mean, my wrists feel funny now.
yeah, right. It's awful. Like I don't know why it didn't bother me when it was like, it's like
Well,
fast, it's done.
Yeah.
But this is, it's like being pulled out from her wet.
And if it was, I can't say the word, but more correct to how a spider would work, wouldn't it be coming out of his arse anyway?
It would.
That'd be imagine dangling over, squatting with his trousers around his ankles. This is a bit weird. Thanks for the lift, though.
But yes, if he was anatomically correct, it would have been coming out of his arse.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You're right,
that'll
mate.
be a very different scene, wouldn't it? But this is what I found a bit. This is why I think MJ is a massive piece of shit in this movie. So not only did she try and leave her fiance already and be like, "Kiss me," to Peter, she's then crying that they can't be together, and then like, right, okay, fine, I'll go back to my fiance immediately because he shows up. And he's like, oh, runs to him or whatever, and goes all the way to the wedding day and leaves him at the altar, and then just runs to Peter anyway.
Simon Pegg and Run Fat Boy Run.
Exactly.
You cock.
I was about to say, Charlie, no, one per show. but it's fine. You said cock. But then runs through the streets in a wedding dress to go to this. I was going to say piece of shit flat, but piece of shit room that he's got. And just standing there, be like, "Let me make my own decisions," which is a fair thing to say.
Hello?
It is doing a crackle.
Hello?
It shouldn't be doing that.
No, well, definitely shouldn't be.
Technical difficulties as per usual.
Please hold.
But
Yeah.
yeah, and go get him, Tiger, the classic line. This is where you get that, and then Spider-Man swinging through the streets of New York is where this movie ends. Oh no, we missed the thing where he throws the knife at the mirror for some reason. It reveals a room of the Goblin, and with all the bombs and the glider and the helmet. May I just say, who put this room back together with the Goblin suit and the mask? Because he didn't bring him back.
I'm guessing
In the suit?
I'm guessing the butler.
But how?
I don't know.
Because he didn't bring him back in the suit. He had taken the suit off him, which is creepy in his own right. But
He cleaned his wounds, he says, doesn't he, in the spoilers for next week, but
yeah.
so
So that's the end of the movie.
yeah.
Harry realizes his dad was Green Goblin. MJ has left John Jameson for Peter, and love is in the air.
Indeed. Can you hear me now?
A cable went the other week as well. That's weird. I seem to
It
be
did.
losing cables.
But it's both times it was me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything to him. I'm just... Yeah. Oh. So yeah, that is it, isn't it?
That is Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. Bit long, wasn't it?
Speaking of the end, I'm not here next week, and I've brought something along that you're gonna need.
He's brought props.
No, you're going to need this next week. You may remember
Spider-Man
what
3.
I said I'd rather do than watch Spider-Man 3. I thought I'd.
I can't believe this is. I can't believe this is a statement you've made that we keep coming back to.
I literally
Leaving it.
did this just to see your reaction.
I will do as my superhero alter ego would do.
The absconder strikes again.
I love the idea of just the general public with the idea of the absconder being like, he's done it again. Just very like slapstick. I would like to end it, but
Well, it's meant for the end. Do you want me to move this?
I'm not offended by a bottle of bleach. It's the context.
For anyone watching, do not put bleach on your bed end.
No,
We
don't
are
do
not
that.
to be held responsible if you do.
Absolutely
I
not.
don't think there's anyone here that would.
I don't know. Charlie's next to me.
That's true. But never mind.
There are many
multiple
people.
I would just expect.
We've been
the
invaded.
way-
Yes, so did I.
This has been Admit One. Before Charlie can do anything else, this has been Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at @rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet, eventually maybe.
Indeed.
Thank you. And now you can follow us on Instagram at @rabbithole_UK or on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your heart to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it goes a very long way in helping us bring you the shows that you love. And Kristian has some things to say about what those things could be.
Yeah, so I said this last week, and the week before, or last week, I think it was last week, but we will actually do this. We've been planning this now. So someone made a joke about us reenacting the films, which led to an idea.
Sorry. Carry on.
of essentially this. We will do a scripted, high production value breakdown, analytical, plus reenactions of certain scenes of each Spider-Man movie. The Raimi ones, the main Spider-Man ones. Fuck
What?
it.
Hang on. This started as 3 films. You've turned it into 7 now.
Oh, I thought it was okay. We can just do 3 then. Just to Raimi. But we will only do it if we hit 10 active Twitch subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed already, now is the time to do so. It builds towards it, because we will do it. We've got quite a lot of plans already. We will do it high production value. It will be worth your time. We will only get there.
It'll also be worth your money.
We will only get there. Then we're going to do all three. All three. We'll do them as 3 different videos.
If we want the amazing ones, that's more subscribers.
That's more, but we will do it. So just consider it. Might be the best thing we ever do. But we need budget to make it happen.
I feel like the scene should actually be, this is what the absconder would do in this situation.
There might be that.
I told you, that's 15 subscribers.
That's 15
okay.
subscribers. We'll make the absconder.
We will make our own Marvel-style 6-episode TV show.
It'll be better than that.
That was going to sound better than fucking Loki, Jesus.
It'll be better. There you go.
Indeed. But coming up on the show, of course, on the channel rather, of course, we are about to go straight into Press Start in a few minutes' time. On Tuesday, we will be back with Admit 1 talking about Rush Hour 2. Next Saturday, of course, we'll be talking about Spider-Man 3, so everybody do your homework for both of those. Or if you know them well enough, just join in anyway.
Other brands of bleach are available.
Yes, this is just one I happen to have at home.
Enough with the fucking bleach, you children. We don't have anything planned for this Thursday coming.
Unless we wanted to do the State of Play.
That's Wednesday.
We are not doing the State of Play.
It's the 27th, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought it was Thursday, but we're not doing it if it's Wednesday. I can't.
You don't have to watch them. You can just join in for the chat, because we're gonna tell you the plot anyway.
Well, we're going to try to.
Well, we're going to tell you the plot badly, but we're going to tell you the plot. Probably out of order, like we've done this evening. Probably missing scenes.
We nailed Bond.
That's why we thought it was a good
Yeah.
idea. I'm wondering if we just stop.
We'll get better. It's fine.
I don't think we will.
You're probably right.
You can tell us, but let us know in the Discord and in the chat if you like the plot rundowns or if we should just go back to what it normally was. We can let the world decide. I feel that's the best way to do it.
Agreed.
But anyway, please stick around for Press Start. It will be lovely to have you as we talk all things video games. And until next time, we shall see you then.
Goodbye.